Hello everyone, it's Jolene here from Chi Lifestyle. Okay, so don't know about everyone else, but yeah, the energies with the full moon was, quite buzzy. Obviously, within the last week of the Mercury retrograde, my phone decided to play up and do some really weird and wonderful things, and I actually had to delete a whole lot of apps, just reset my phone. Which was also quite good actually, because I actually logged out of all social media just in order to, get myself back. And I actually decided not to get back on. I didn't log on again until this morning because I actually just thought to myself, you know what, this is the universe's way of telling me, just stay off of it. We've all, have our Facebook feeds and everything is just this coronavirus, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, whether you're on Google, whether you're on social media, whether you turn on the TV, it just seems to be that's all that people are speaking about. And so, I actually had quite a good weekend I actually had a bit of a retreat, actually. Dug right in, got stuck into my own energies and, started to see the things that I needed to release with the full moon, obviously, because it's a great time to release. This is, the full moon is the best time for you to sit and think to yourself, what do I no longer need in my life, and to, with love, send it out, okay? But one of the things that came to me this weekend, which was quite an interesting one, and that was a slight epiphany, whether it was a channeled message or not. I sometimes, believe that these things do come in. And I thought I'd share it with you anyway. If you're not interested, please, by all means, step forth into the reading. But a lot of it had to do with, there's obviously been a lot of speculation with the coronavirus. I mean, we all know that it's somewhere along the line had to do with possibly with people eating all kinds of weird and wonderful creatures. And there's been a lot of judgment in that. And I just, I felt like I had to share the information that came to me, okay? And that was, something that we all seem to forget. When we are sitting in front of our big fancy TVs, with our wonderful iPads and iPhones and Samsung, or, whatever it is, our laptops, we often forget where these came from. And a lot of these places, like China, unfortunately have a lot of poverty. We never ever think about the fact that, and by all means I'm not judging, I'm actually recording this on my iPad, so please, I'm not judging anyone at the moment. I'm just saying this virus is, once again, there's a reason that everything happens, and the reason for this virus is for us to once again become a little bit more aware as to what's actually going out there. Quite often we ignore things, and I know what it's like. You see a starving child and you scroll past it. You see an injured dog and you scroll past it. I, for one, really and truly don't share any of those, because purely I believe that what you share manifests further. I always believe you should share the opposite. So rather share someone who's saved a dog rather than a dog that's been abused, because then you just share that and give people, I just find it gives people more inspiration. Seeing a dog being hurt just hurts my soul, and so I don't want to see it. However, seeing someone who has taken in a dog that's been hurt and see them giving that dog love, it's a different story. It gives you that inspiration. So I often find that we wish to not hear as to what's going on, and unfortunately we're in a world where there's a lot of poverty out there. I mean, before we go and judge someone who would eat rats and all these kind of weird and wonderful creatures, we need to sometimes think to ourselves, well, why? If someone is brought to desperation when it comes to being hungry, people will do anything. I have a friend who worked in the Congo, and he just said, that the people there, the Congolese, would literally eat whatever they could find, when they were living in the rural areas, because they were hungry. And that's our, is our human instinct is to, fight or flight, and that means eating whatever you can find, and that's what people are going to do. And maybe with once again, not sending any judgment out there, but it should bring our awareness to what's actually happening in this world, and it's time that we stop and try to find ways to help instead of ignoring it, because now the virus is out there and it really and truly is affecting everyone. You can't hide from this virus. It is seeping through in every which way. Every day there's a new case, and it's just spreading and spreading and spreading. And once again, it is a call for us to really start to take action and to really think about what is happening in this world, and not to be so consumed into your own lives and into your own environment that you forget. You've got these presidents in these countries, and once again, no judgment out there. This is not a political thing, but you've got the Brexit going on. You've got Trump who wants to build this wall and keep people out. Well, God is going, well, guess what? You can't keep out people. You can't close yourself off to the fact that there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of violence, and there's just a lot of countries out there that these presidents and these governments are really and truly raping their people of food, raping their people of security, raping their people of everything. And by trying to keep them out, God's now sending out a virus and going, well, actually, you're going to have to stop and look. This is, being ignorant is bliss is no longer going to work. Because now how are you going to find someone who's going to make your phones and who's going to make your TVs? And, this really and truly does affect us. And we're now having to see it. Anyway, I just felt like I had to share that with you. That's my 5 cents worth. Sometimes we just got to share with what we feel. I'm not looking to start any kind of aggressive topics or anything. I just think, taking a little bit more time out to maybe think about what's happening around us, and maybe not just look so much as ignorance is bliss. And any which way that anyone can help, whether you just talk about it, whether you find charity organizations. I mean, one of the things I've always been quite passionate about, and I always really and truly believe in, is the reason why we have a lot of poverty in these third world countries is because they don't have the proper education. People are not educated. And so governments can keep them stupid. If I don't give you education, or, if I let you burn down, you can blame the universities, you can blame whoever you want to. Ignorance is once again very blissful for them. The more stupid you are, the more I can make you believe in what I want you to believe, and therefore the more I can control you. That is a massive problem with this world, because exactly, if you don't know what's going on, then definitely I can control you. Anyway, from those heavy energies, we'll get into our reading. Okay, so the purpose of today's reading is very much to help you identify with a little bit more of your soul and your soul's purpose. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions about why are they here, what are they meant to do in this world, and this is not necessarily to tell you exactly what you need to do, because a lot of the times it will be up to you, but this is just to give you a bit of a guidance as to maybe what would benefit your soul the most, what career you should go into, what, I don't know, maybe not a career, but maybe even look into some hobbies that might help lift up your soul. Because really and truly, we are all needing to be a lot more positive and to exude that that positivity out as much as possible. Okay. So, without further ado, we have pile number 1, which says #2, house 2. Pile number 2 is #house 3, and pile number 3 is #house 6. Okay, so take a look at the images, maybe at the numbers, maybe you like a certain number. Sit, think about this one quite carefully, because this one's quite important. Take a deep breath, meditate a little bit on which pile screams to you the most. Maybe do a grounding, you take deep breaths, visualize the white light coming in through the top of your head, visualizing it's taking over your body and shooting down the bottom of your soul, straight down into the ground and branching out like trees. Okay? pray for Archangel Michael to please come in, cut all your cords so that you are not connected. This is really a time to not think about your work, your kids, your husband, your boyfriend, your ex, whatever. This is a time to focus on you and these cards. Okay? Right. Now we'll go begin with pile number 1. Okay, so those of you who have chosen pile number 1, if you didn't listen to my extremely long intro, then you won't know that. Obviously, like I said, if you just wanted to jump straight to the reading, then that's awesome. This is your reading. We once again going to be looking at your soul purpose, your why are you here, what are you here to bring, how do you help your soul. Okay, so those of you who have chosen this pile, you have chosen house number 2. Okay, so with house number 2, your soul's mission on this earth is to see your individual value. Okay, you need to see how does money affect you, how does your talents affect you, or what is your individual talents. Okay, what validation do you get from these things? So does money validate you? Do you feel that if you don't have money you are nothing, or if you've got a lot of money you are something? Do you take ownership for your good points and bad points, and for the things that you do? It's a huge thing for you is to look at your self-esteem and your survival skills. Okay, so again, what value do you feel that you bring into this world? Okay, so with the freedom card is very much a card of restrictions. Okay, so I think the reason why you're battling to connect with your higher purpose, or with your life's purpose, or with yourself in this sense, is because you've placed a lot of restrictions on yourself. Okay, or you feel like there's a lot of restrictions in your life at the moment. Okay, so this is saying to you, you need to free yourself from anything and anyone that makes you feel that that you're not able to express yourself properly and to be yourself with. Okay, this is about saying no to anyone who's overstepping on their boundaries with you, and to really and truly have once again a deep look at yourself. Okay, because if someone doesn't value you, why are you allowing these people into your life? Okay, be it your work, be it your partner, be it your family, be it your friends. Okay, so this is saying to you, your soul needs more freedom. Your soul needs to be set free more, and you need to allow your individual value to really start to shine. Okay, you've also got here food. So maybe your life purpose has got something to do with food. Maybe you also with your self-esteem. Maybe you need to look more at your own nourishment, your body's nourishment, and your relationship with food. Okay, you might be needing to look more at your health, or it's saying to you that your life purpose will really and truly benefit you by maybe looking into food. Maybe you need to look into becoming or doing something with health, nutritionalist, or gym instructor, or chef. Okay, take whatever resonates, and if none of those are things that you look for, then it's just trying to tell you that you need to look at how you value food, and how do you nourish your body, and how is your relationship with food. You might, because you have a low self-esteem, for example, use food as a way to nourish your soul, but really and truly, if it's not healthy food, it's not going to do that. Okay. With your intuition, again, it's telling you that you need to go within. With the inner child, a lot of the times we need to go back to our own childhood, and you need to say to yourself, what did I want to do when I was a child, and why? What made me want to do that? What about that job or that career excited me? And that often gives you a huge insight into what it is that you wanted to do. And why? I mean, if you wanted to become a policeman, for example, maybe you like the belief in protecting others. Maybe you just like to be bossy. But you need to go back to whatever your childhood fantasy was, your childhood dream job, and say to yourself, okay, what about that did I like? If it was the bossiness, maybe I want to be a boss. Maybe then that's telling me that I really need to work on my self-esteem and my nourishment so that I can manifest a career in management, a career as a leader, okay? If it's because you want to protect people, well then, there again, look into all different types of careers where you are able to protect people, be it a social care worker or, a judge, a lawyer, a policeman. Okay, whatever that was, they're asking you to use your inner child. So go back to your childhood, go back to your youth, and think about, the kind of careers you actually wanted as a child, because that will give you a huge insight into what it actually is that you're supposed to do with the rest of your life. Okay. You've got the magician here. So once again, it's telling you, and also there it said at the top there, talents. It's telling you are very talented. Okay, you have all the resources that you need. Okay. It's time for you to own it. It's time for you to use your own individual talents to make money from it. This is not saying you need to go out and buy something to do it. It's saying you've got all the resources within. Okay, so you might have to go study a course, for example, if that will help, because you're obviously someone who needs validation, right? So if you need to go and study a course on something in order to give you self-validation, then that's great, but you've got it, okay. If a certificate's going to help you, then go out and study it, but you actually have already got this talent, okay. Then with the Knight of Swords, it's saying, you're a highly motivated person. You're very good. You're very good motivator. You're very good at communication. You're highly driven, and people often see you. People can see that motivation in you. They can see that drive. They can see that need to charge forth. They can see all of that in you. You just need to see that for yourself, Once again, I think this is the power of people who just don't see their own skills and talents. Okay. So this is just, maybe you just need to, once again, free yourself from certain people and go within and find your people. You need to find the people that bring you the sunshine out of you, the people who are going to bring harmony into your life. Because when you feel in harmony, your purpose will come to you a lot easier, okay? You will then become successful, you will become enlightened, and you will find the material happiness that you want within. But first of all, you need to, once again, is see yourself for who you are. Take a lot more ownership for your skills, okay? You're not in survival mode. You need to get out of survival mode, and you need to free yourself from any place or anyone who's not making you feel good about yourself. And then, once again, put all the nutrition into your body and nurture yourself with your loving thoughts and with, good positivity and happy people and your people. Okay, I hope that's giving you some kind of insight as, what your soul is needing, and I will chat to you soon. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to those of you who have chosen pile number 2. Okay, so if you missed my extremely long intro and skipped right through here, that's awesome. Your reading is really and truly about not necessarily your soul purpose, but what does your soul need right now? Okay, what can you do to liven up your soul, make yourself feel a little bit more alive and happy? Okay, so you chose #House 3, and that is all about intellectual growth. Okay, so your soul is needing a lot of, it's obviously very curious and a lot of experiences, okay. It's needing to expand, maybe it's needing more knowledge, maybe, you've had a lot of little journeys in your life, and you need to now use those experiences to help others. It's got you talking and listening. It's got your relatives and siblings and day-to-day connections. So I think what your soul is needing, and maybe a little bit of your soul's purpose or journey at the moment is maybe you need to have a look at your experiences and share your experiences with others in some way. Okay, you've got talking and listening, so maybe helping other people by talking to them about your experiences. You need to have a look at how your relatives and siblings affect your day-to-day connections. I mean, how does your siblings, affect you? How does your relatives affect you? And who do you spend time with day-to-day? Okay, because you're really and truly wanting intellectual growth. And if they're not stimulating you, maybe you need to go out and find it somewhere. Okay. You've got the artistic expression card. So, oh no, just realized now I've got a terrible glare. So the artistic expression card is that very much of the artist. Okay, so those of you who have chosen pile number 2, you probably generally in some way or form are an artist. Okay, now artists don't necessarily mean I am a painter or I can draw. An artist finds many ways to express themselves. It can be via ballet, it can be via dance, in any form. An artist can be a poet, you can be a writer, you can sing, there's many ways. It says your artistic expression. So what your soul needs in order to grow is to express yourself in some kind of form of artistic way. Maybe it's just to blog. Once again, communication, day-to-day connections, talking and listening. So think about your experiences. What have you been through in this life? Something we often forget about, and that is everything that has happened to you for a reason. You have chosen those bad experiences, and I know that's a very bitter pill to swallow. Many people don't understand this, but if you didn't experience heartache, if you didn't experience pain, if you didn't experience whatever it is that you've experienced, you'll never ever know how to heal from it or how to help someone else heal from it. Those experiences have helped you become who you are today. And you need to now express yourself. And maybe, once again, talking and listening, talking so that someone else out there would be listening and they're going, wow, you're still here, you've survived, I'm okay. It's really and truly. If you did listen to the intro, you'll know that I've had to go a lot within in the last couple of days, and the moon's energies and all of that. It's really helped me, and I've had to find a lot of my own healing and pain that I've had to deal with, and had to go through each experience and try and figure things out. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, and so being a life coach, I've had to coach myself per se, more than just always coach others. And I did a lot of Reiki on myself, gave myself my own Reiki session. I'm now going to start learning, the EFT tapping in order to just tap through anything that is stuck. I know with me as well, I need to use a lot of that pain to express myself in form of a book. So that is what will help your soul do the same. Okay, you've got there the gardening card, so it's either meaning go out and spend some time in the garden, or your soul needs to be with gardening, or maybe your creative sense is that of gardening. Interior decorating, gardening are also forms of, so is cooking and baking. There's a million one way that you can become an artist or become creative. It could just be saying to you that it's time for you to manifest, it's time for you to start reaping what you sow, and it's time for you to sow some and start planting some very positive seeds here in your life. Okay. Your shadow card is there to just remind you of your forked tongue. Okay, and by that I mean, when you're frustrated or irritated, just watch your words with other people, and more importantly, watch your words with yourself. Because if you are angry or you are hurt, you might be hurting yourself or others with, sometimes we use harsh words, or, just hurry along, you're just so slow. And, this is just your shadow self, and the angels are just saying, just putting it out there, just please to, watch your words with others. If someone's triggered you, have a look at why they're triggering you. What about the situation is really and really triggering you, okay? With the Four of Pentacles, I feel like you're holding onto your own gifts here, guys. You are someone who really and truly can help more, but you're refusing to share yourself with the world. You're refusing to let people see who you are. You're just holding on tightly, making sure no one gets to see you. You know, the Seven of Swords is the same thing. You're being deceptive, and deceptive to yourself. Not because you're trying to deceive other people or hurt other people, but you're deceiving yourself, and you're trying to harden to the knot, you know. And I know and a lot of artists are like this, you know, they're deep within their pain. They don't want to express their pain because, you know, fears, obviously. So sometimes you do have to go within, but you need to find a way to express yourself, you know. You need to be a little bit like the Knight of Rods. You know, you need to be a little bit more of a passionate person. You need to be more motivated, more enthusiastic, okay? Because also, but even with the Knight of Rods is someone who's very much a loner. Like, he springs into your life, bursts of energies, I suppose more like an artist as well. So this is all very much a very artistic, you know, you're an artist, really and truly, if I have to say it again. But this is very much of an artistic mind of someone who, you know, bursts of energies and you know, color and beautiful and dance and whatever it is, music, and then shoops, I hop into the next town. But you battle to bring people along with you, you know, because, you know, artists generally suffer with painful experiences and something in their past, and that's why also with the Four of Pentacles, you don't want to share yourself with other people because it's just too hurtful. And what your soul is needing is to rather express yourself, you know. Express yourself more in a positive way. Find ways to use your painful experiences to help other people rather than to, you know, try and sneak off in the middle of the night and you know, not allow people to get to know who you are and what you are all about, okay? And yes, obviously, once again, you know, you might be curious at this moment. You might want to take a lot of little journeys like the Knight of Rods, who also is one, you know, very much of a traveler, which is fine. You know, if you're trying to find your soul, then that's great. Then that's a good way to find your soul. But yes, don't shy away from the world. Let us all see your beautiful, beautiful light and your beautiful artistic expressions. Okay, that's what I have for you, pile number 2. I hope something in there resonates, and I hope you are able to find a way to shine with the world. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll chat to you soon. Hello, and welcome to those of you who have chosen pile number 3. Okay, so if you missed my very, very long intro and you've skipped right ahead, by all means, fantastic. This is very much about, not so much, well, it's a little bit about your soul's purpose. I mean, I'm here to help guide you in certain ways, but it's just really and truly just about what your soul is needing right now, okay? So whatever you're going through, this is just, you know, what does your soul need to hear or deal with or focus on right now, okay? And you have chosen house number 6, okay? And that's one of mastery, okay? So your soul purpose or your soul lesson at this point in your life is to learn mastery, okay? Mastery when it comes to health, when it comes to pets, rituals and practices. Makes me think of maybe you need to master your spiritual practices right now. You need to see what skills you have and the tools. You know, this is a card of saying, you know, how to use the tools that you already have with you right now and work in service. I think it's your service to, what work can you do to service others? Okay. Looking at these cards, I can see straight away that you are, your soul is very much that of a spiritual path. This is a path of the healer. This is the path of people who are light workers that have come onto this earth to help others in some way or form, okay? And it's saying you know, the card follow your heart is exactly what that is. It's saying follow your heart. You know, I just want to bring this card in here actually, because the imagery is I mean, that's of St. Francis, and his hand is on his heart, and as you can see, as his hand is there, so does this beautiful exuberant light start shining out around him, like this fantastic glow, okay? So it's one of, you know, put your hand on your heart kind of thing, but also that of healing, there's a lot of healing energies coming from those hands, okay? Because you've also got your third eye and clairvoyance. So you might be a psychic, you might be someone who needs to really work on your psychic gifts right now. You need to work more on opening up your third eye, okay, in your clairvoyancy. That can be done in many ways. I mean, you can do what I'm doing, which is just tarot reading. Once again, there's different forms of clairvoyancy. You don't have to physically see. You can sometimes hear. You can sometimes just have a sense and feeling of things that are happening around you. Sometimes you just got a very strong intuition, and you don't understand why or hear, certain things, and not understand where it's all coming from, and generally that's your spirit guides talking to you, okay? So they're saying to you, look more into this, okay? You really and truly are a spiritual person, and you have got a lot of spiritual gifts, okay? And I think once again, you really need to work with people or animals, and there's so many ways to do that. I mean, you've also got the partnership and love card, and it's again nature spirit. So again, connect more with nature, connect more with maybe with your fairy spirits. Find your community. That's, you see a lot of partnership and love. And partnership and love doesn't necessarily just mean, the love of a man and woman kind of love. It's talking about spiritual love, spiritual partnership. Find your people. When you're with the right people, your gifts will just expand because you need that support. The spiritual path is one of the most, I wouldn't say the hardest path. It's not, but it really is a hard one because it's not one that's accepted as much, if that makes any sense. You've got the Justice card here, and so I'm just going to sip my tea because my throat chakra is obviously buzzing. So with the Justice card here, I feel like you're someone who really hates injustice. And that's why you have such passion to help people, because I think you just really, really, when someone is done by badly, you just want to jump in and help. And, maybe your path is maybe to get involved and become a lawyer in some way or form. Or it just might mean that, you just feel that you hate people to be abused, you hate people to be bullied. You hate animals to be bullied. And so you just really and truly want to bring people to justice. You want people to face their karma. You want people to just face their, be accountable for their actions in life. And so, you've got to use your spiritual gifts to help people. Again, if you didn't listen to my intro, there was a time there, a part of my intro where I said, sometimes, if you hate abused animals, don't post more pictures of abused animals, because it doesn't actually get the reaction. It gets the reaction of anger, which is maybe what you're wanting, but anger's not a positive reaction. Anger's a negative reaction. You want to get a positive reaction. So go and post rather people who have saved animals, because that's a positive reaction. That makes people go, oh, look how cute that is, oh shame, so that ugly scruffy dog that's sitting out there that I want to kick all the time because he smells, and oh, look how beautiful that dog could look. You've got to realize that the only way you're going to get people to see what you want them to see is by using positive reinforcements and not negative. You see abused children, once again, I'll scroll right past it, I promise you I will, because I don't want to see it. I've got children, I love my children. The thought of anyone hurting another child is just such an injustice to me, so I just really, abused women is the same thing. I've got such a passion against it. So then do the opposite. Empower women, find ways to empower women, find ways to help children, get involved with children. Children and animals are just the most innocent people in this world. They, unfortunately, their circumstances bring them to very, very bad situations. They don't ask to be in these bad situations. So find a way to help those children. Those children and those animals just literally want love. That is all. Okay. So once again, find a positive way to bring about those injustices that you so badly are passionate about. Okay. But one thing your soul is needing at the moment as well is just to take a risk with your life. You're a flipping amazing, passionate person. You so badly want to go out there and share your gifts with the world, and now it's time to take that risk. Again, being a spiritual person is a very scary one, because gosh, what are people going to think of me? What are they going to say? Oh wow, you do tarot cards, really? Oh wow, that's the devil's work. It's unfortunately, it's not always a positive path. it's the most, I mean, I find it's really and truly the most amazing path to be in, because you really and truly get to feel your positive work out there and how it impacts other people. And it's really, really, makes your heart expand when you see positive, happy things happening to other people. But once again, you need to take that risk. You need to come out the closet and go, hey, I'm a spiritual freak. Look at me, ha ha ha. But yeah, accept your gifts for who you are. Accept your mastery. You're a master in this world. You really and truly have a very specific purpose in this world, and it's an amazing purpose. Just go out there and take a chance and let people know your spiritual practices, your spiritual beliefs, or whatever it is. And really and truly, the people who really love you will love and accept you for exactly who you are. And also, what your soul is really craving right now is to have a lot more balance and harmony. I mean, with the Temperance card, that's exactly what it is. It's about finding some peace in your life. It's all fair and well that you want to go out and fight, but again, your soul also needs to have healing. Your soul, you also need to put your hand on your heart and heal yourself a little bit. It's not, you can't just go out and fight all the time. You also got to find some times, and you need to do everything within the knowledge of bringing in love and harmony and balance, because when you're fighting, it's negative energies, and you're not helping your path by being negative, because then you're sending out negativities and anger. And I understand. I'm probably the most one person to understand. Justice is very much the Libran card, and I'm a Libran, and I just want to fight everyone who does everyone else wrong. But at the same time, you've got to find the opposite of negativity in order to bring out positivity. Okay. Right, that's what I have for you for pile number 3. Please let me know if anything resonates. And yeah, hopefully you find and embrace your spirituality, and hey, welcome to my world. Enjoy the rest of your week.